Strange New Worlds confirms Season 3's time jump with a Star Trek Enterprise callback. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has always embraced the legacy of its predecessors, but with the reveal of a major Star Trek Enterprise callback in its Season 3 trailer, it looks like the show is boldly jumping ahead, literally and thematically. The callback doesn't just tug at nostalgia, it officially confirms that Strange New Worlds Season 3 is implementing a significant time jump. And in doing so, it weaves the franchise's past into its future in a surprisingly emotional way. From the Enterprise NX-01 to the USS Enterprise under Captain Pike, Star Trek has long played with the idea of legacy and progress. But now, by reaching back to a 100-year-old chapter in the Federation's timeline, Strange New Worlds is redefining what it means to move forward, both in story and character. Here's how this unexpected Enterprise callback confirms a Season 3 time jump and what it means for the show's characters, canon, and future. The callback that changed everything. Daniels and Temporal Cold War echoes. In the recently dropped Season 3 trailer of Strange New Worlds, fans were shocked to see a fleeting but unmistakable detail, a character appearing in a uniform with a 31st century aesthetic and using a temporal scanner not seen since Star Trek Enterprise. For longtime fans, this is a direct reference to Daniels, the time-traveling agent from the future who regularly interacted with Captain Archer. Daniels was a linchpin of the Enterprise series' Temporal Cold War subplot, which involved various factions fighting across time to influence the outcome of galactic history. While Enterprise never fully resolved that arc before its cancellation, Strange New World seems eager to pick up the baton. The character shown in the trailer uses almost identical phrasing to Daniel's signature line, "You're not supposed to be here yet," aimed at Captain Pike and crew. This moment isn't just a fun Easter egg, it suggests something much bigger. The Federation is facing a temporal crisis once again, and Pike's Enterprise may have already leaped forward in time to deal with it. Why a time jump was necessary for Season 3. Season 2 of Strange New Worlds ended on a major cliffhanger. The Gorn, now reimagined as terrifying, xenomorph-like predators, launched a surprise assault, cutting off Pike from half his crew, including Lon, M'Benga, and Ortegas. With tensions escalating and the threat of full-blown war looming, fans expected Season 3 to pick up immediately where it left off. But Strange New Worlds has never been a show to take the expected route. The inclusion of temporal tech and Daniels-like figures hints that Season 3 begins weeks, months, or possibly even years after the Gorn incident. That delay may have been crucial, not just narratively, but emotionally. The show appears poised to explore the aftermath, who survived, how the Federation responded, and what toll the crisis took on its heroes. This time jump creates space for new relationships to develop or fall apart, old wounds to fester, particularly regarding Spock, Chapel, and Lon, and new technology or policies to take root, perhaps influenced by time travel revelations. By skipping ahead, the writers have an opportunity to refresh the stakes and possibly introduce future Federation technology or allies influenced by Daniel's era. The implications for Pike and his crew. For Captain Pike, a man haunted by his own future, a time jump of any kind is emotionally fraught. He's already seen the accident that will leave him disabled and confined to a chair. He knows his destiny. So being thrust forward in time, even slightly, could have devastating psychological consequences. Could Pike meet someone from the future who tells him more about his fate? Could he try to change it again, despite Number One's plea that he accept who he is? This callback may push Pike to confront time not just as a concept, but as an enemy. For Spock, who already grappled with emotional vulnerability in Season 2, time travel opens old wounds, particularly involving Michael Burnham, his sister from Star Trek Discovery, whose own journey through time reshaped the galaxy. Will he finally address her disappearance in a more direct way? Could the show finally bridge the emotional gap between Strange New Worlds and Discovery? Meanwhile, characters like M'Benga and Chapel, both veterans of war and loss, may now find themselves altered by their time apart. If the time jump is extensive, we may even see an Ortegas who's taken on command elsewhere, or a Lon who's led a rogue resistance against the Gorn alone. These characters returning changed by unseen months of conflict allows for powerful emotional arcs that feel earned rather than rushed. Could the Temporal Cold War be back? The inclusion of Daniel's aesthetic and tech in the trailer can't be understated. It's more than just fan service. It suggests that Strange New World Season 3 might be planting seeds for a return of the Temporal Cold War, one of Enterprise's most ambitious but unfinished plots. The idea that multiple factions are vying to control time, manipulate events, and interfere with Starfleet's development opens Strange New Worlds to storytelling that transcends the bounds of its decade before TOS setting. It could explain why the Gorn are suddenly so aggressive. What if someone from the future has changed history, causing the Gorn to evolve faster or push into Federation space earlier than they should? We could be seeing the effects of a broken timeline, and Pike and crew are the only ones in a position to fix it, possibly at great cost. Tying together 4 Star Trek shows through one callback, if Strange New Worlds continues this thread, it could link together. 1. Star Trek, Enterprise through Daniels and the Temporal Cold War. 2. Star Trek, Discovery via its own time travel lore and Spock's connections. 3. Star Trek, the original series, setting up its canon with more precision. 4. Strange New Worlds as the linchpin series blending nostalgia with fresh storytelling. This strategy is reminiscent of how Marvel or Star Wars builds interconnected narratives across decades. It makes the Trek universe feel truly unified, where every story, even the failed ones like Enterprise, still matter. And for Enterprise fans, this moment is vindication. Daniel's arc may finally get closure through Pike's story. The future of Starfleet is in the past. There's a powerful irony in Strange New Worlds using the past to talk about the future. The very idea of time travel complicates Pike's straightforward idealism. In Season 1, he stood for clarity and command. But with the chaos of war and now the burden of temporal knowledge, his faith in order may falter. The callback to Enterprise also offers a chance to rewrite how the Federation views time. Instead of fearing it, they might embrace it, becoming more proactive and prepared, laying groundwork for what we later see in Discovery's far future Federation. This also begs the question, could Strange New Worlds introduce temporal investigations as a formal agency within Starfleet? Could Pike's Enterprise be the ship that first helps establish the protocols seen in later Trek shows? That alone would give his crew a lasting legacy beyond their personal stories. Season 3 might not just be about the Gorn. While fans are excited to see the Gorn War unfold, the Enterprise callback tells us that there's a bigger enemy behind the curtain. The Gorn may just be a symptom of a greater disease, time manipulation. Someone might be helping the Gorn from the future. Or perhaps a future faction wants Pike's crew out of the way, using the Gorn as pawns. This expands the scope of the season. Instead of a traditional war arc, we could be looking at temporal incursions, reality-bending tech, and characters being erased or altered from the timeline. In short, Strange New Worlds may be about to get weird in the best way possible. Final thoughts. Why this callback is genius, bringing in a Star Trek, Enterp,